Coming up next is our community event. This segment is brought to you by Visitors Coverage. Hi everyone, this is Kavita for Sitare TV. I'm at the Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles at the ArcLight Theaters in Hollywood, California. Tonight is closing night, and Deepa Mehta, director of Midnight's Children, will be here tonight. The red carpet is about to start, so let me take you to the highlights of this event. The 11th Annual Indian Film Festival of Los Angeles, IFFLA, concluded on Sunday evening, April 14th, with a red carpet and gala that included the Los Angeles premiere of Deepa Mehta's Midnight's Children.
I was born in the city of Bombay, once upon a time. At the precise instant of India's arrival at independence, I tumbled forth into the world.
Hello Deepa ji, क्या हाल है आपका? बिल्कुल ठीक है. You know, आपकी movie Midnight's Children is one of the foremost leading stories of our time by Salman Rushdie. Talk about what this film means to you and why you chose to direct this movie.
There are many reasons that one is attracted to a story. Firstly, it was Midnight's Children is a story that really appealed to me. It's a story about the coming of age of a young man and the coming of age of a country. So the story of, as an immigrant to Canada, a lot of my life has been spent in मैं Canadian हूँ, मैं Indian हूँ, मैं क्या हूँ, क्या नहीं हूँ, identity, how to deal with the fact you've left your family behind, how do you reinvent yourself. So that is really what Midnight's Children is about, the search of a country and a search of a young man for identity and a home and a family. So that's what attracted me.
You've gone through some immense challenges to make your films. What were some of the challenges that you faced in making this movie?
Every film is a challenge, whether it's some are more difficult than the other. They were nothing that I can really put my hands on. It was all films are difficult to make. This is an epic film because it spans 60 years. We had to shoot it in 7 countries, in fact, in 7 cities, 64 locations, and so it was things like that. In the middle, we got stopped by the Iranian government for 2 days, but that was nothing.
What was it like to work with, I know Salman Rushdie is the screenwriter for this movie and also, of course, the author. What was it like to work with him and how closely did you work together with the script?
We worked very closely together and it was one of the, I would think that, perhaps when I'm dying, I'll say it was one of the highlights of my life. Not only, we all know he's brilliant. Salman Rushdie is a brilliant writer, he's a brilliant man, but he's also a very generous man and he's also a very funny guy. So we had a blast. We actually had a great time working together.
Are you looking forward to tonight? Your film is here at IFFLA. Talk about the experience being here.
It's lovely being here. I mean, I just wish Los Angeles was a little warmer.
It usually is.
I know, it's like, where's the sunshine? But it's lovely being here. I like IFFLA. I think it's a very nice festival. And I like the fact that it showcases such a variety of Indian talent. It's great. Hi, I'm Deepa Mehta and you're watching me on Sitare TV.
The festival showcased more than 35 film features, documentaries, and short films at ArcLight Hollywood, home of IFFLA since its inception. This year, IFFLA paid a tribute to Yash Chopra, Hindi cinema's king of romance, featuring 3 of his films, Kabhi Kabhi, Silsila, and Chandani. Director Shushrat Jain's Beyond All Boundaries won both the Grand Jury Prize and the Audience Awards for Best Documentary Film. Shushrat and Soham, when we first talked to you on the red carpet on opening night, we hadn't seen your film and I hadn't seen it. But after seeing it, I think it's one of the best films here. I really, really loved it. The best thing I liked about it was the cyclist, the guy that carries the World Cup on his head. Sudhir. Talk about this film and how you chose these 3 protagonists that you made the documentary on.
Sure. So it's a feature-length documentary about the sport of cricket, about the love for the sport of cricket in India. And we found Sudhir because we were looking for someone who had this incredible passion. We'd heard about him. There'd been like a couple of articles about him in the newspapers. And so we went to a World Cup match and we found him. He was painted with the colors, waving the flag, and we started to become friends basically. And that's how he ended up in the movie. With the two kids, with Prithvi and Akshaya, we were basically looking for young kids who have given their life to the sport and hoping to become superstars in the sport someday. And that's how we found the two of them. We spent a lot of time talking to lots of kids who play cricket in India, and there's a lot of people, but that's how we found them.
Director Nitin Kakkar won the Audience Awards for Best Feature Film, Filmistan.
Filmistan is about, in a nutshell, it kind of explores India-Pakistan relation via the medium of movies, which have this amazing power to connect people beyond borders.
Producer Guneet Monga and cable television executive Bela Bajaria were recipients of this year's Industry Leadership Awards.
It's wonderful to have you here at IFFLA at the 6th Annual Industry Leadership Awards. What does this festival, IFFLA, mean for you?
I think it's been very gratifying to see the showcasing of Indian films and Indian talent, writers, directors, performers in mainstream Hollywood, and have, a place where people have easy access to come and actually really engage with the films and the people behind it.
Talk about how the characters have grown and what type of opportunities there are for folks out there to audition and interact with your shows and TV program.
I think we have, so many shows with great diversity all across the board, but the shows we produce, we have some amazing, hugely talented, Indian talent on screen. With the shows we produce, we have, Aziz Ansari, Danny Pudi, and star creator, executive producer Mindy Kaling. So, that's just 3 comedies we produce, and we have Indian characters in many of our other shows. But it's, I think you've really seen sort of more of an explosion of Indian talent and diverse talent in general in front of the camera and television. And I think what's been really exciting, if you look at, actors like Archie Punjabi, there's a lot of different roles and characters that are fully dimensionalized and not sort of traditional or stereotypical or very limited roles that maybe you used to see in the past. And I think that's what's been really exciting, that you see them straight across the board in all different kinds of characters.
This segment is brought to you by Visitors Coverage. I'm here with Guneet Monga. She's having 2 films screened here. She's a producer of Peddlers. 3 films screened here.
Shahid, Peddlers and Gangs of Wasseypur.
Shahid, Peddlers and Gangs of Wasseypur. Please welcome Guneet Monga. Guneet, tell me, you've worked with a lot of small budget films and you've worked in fundraising. It's very challenging being a woman and being very young, raising funds for such films, and especially for Anurag Kashyap films and others. How do you go about that?
So we've been very shameless and in love with what we do. What I clearly know is that the directors and the stories that we are trying to tell, the directors that we are trying to support, are extremely good filmmakers. And that's something with working with them on short films and building that confidence as a director and a producer. So you do take that leap, blinding faith on your director and say, okay, whatever it is, we'll make this happen. And you do that on everything that you decide in life. So when you decide to make a film, you just go out on this mission to raise money. And with Peddlers, we tried to raise money on Facebook. With Haram Khor, we did that on Facebook. Shahid, there were different resources and even the director's resources helped. On Gangs of Wasseypur, we had a studio funding. So they're all differently approached and differently done as per the need of the film and as where we want to take it further. There are films that you can't start with a studio because they just don't fit their scheme of things. So you need to start it with private equity money and then get a studio roped in, or take it to a big festival and then get a studio roped in, or maybe never and then release it yourself. And find other ways of distribution. So it's always an ongoing work and challenge, and it's really exciting.
I remember a couple of years ago, Kavi made it to this festival, and I had a chance to interview Greg Helvey. Talk about that film. That film is about a child in brick kiln in India, brickling. Talk about that.
So Kavi was Greg's diploma project, and it was his USC last year project, and he came to India and he was looking for producers in India to put it together, because he was trying to fundraise and he had really small amount of money to make it happen. And then we came on board from India. That time I was working with a different company, and there was another producer with me, Harish, and both of us came on board on the film, and we put in a lot of our equity and relationships in making the film happen. Line produced it and raised some amount of money, then got a lot of equipment and lab deals and finished the shoot and made it happen. And then Greg came here and finished the post of it with his college and his support of that, and the film did really well. It went to win the student Oscar, and it went for the final Oscars in the nomination, and I was only happy to attend it back in 2010, and that was my last trip to LA, and it was really exciting.
That is very exciting. There are a flush of new filmmakers from India, and they're up and coming. It's an up and coming market. What is your comment, and what would you say to these filmmakers, and especially when a lot of people are coming from other parts of the world and they're interacting with Indian filmmakers? They don't know too much about Indian filmmakers or the Indian market. What is your comment on that?
There are a lot of filmmakers coming, and it's only a good and exciting time to be. These filmmakers don't have any baggages of being from a film family or breaking records or breaking box office records. They're storytellers. They've grown up on world cinema. They've seen good cinema around the world, and they look at life in a certain way, and they want to tell a certain story. So for them, I would only say is be yourself, be original, and it's now the right time to make it happen. So we're in a very good time where films like Pansing Tomar, Kahani, Gangs of Wasseypur are all working. Kai Poche did a 40 crore business.
Amazing.
Kahani was 70 crores plus, Pansing Tomar was 28 crores plus, and Gangs of Wasseypur was 50 crore plus. So, and then when you look at other bigger films that are just bombing and not being accepted, so this is actually the real changing good times.
Yeah.
So be at it and make it happen.
Thank you for giving your time. I know you have to rush in. They're trying to get you over there to one of the films that you have to screen. Thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Thank you.
This segment is brought to you by Visitors Coverage. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Write to me to request your favorite star profiles and send me some show ideas at info@satare.com. Until I see you again, I'm your host Kavita. Have a great week.